Hey, never mind, he just finished. I'll do this in case I just happen to get quiet for a little while.
That was rough. I didn't have a good lunch yet.
And APR sees me. So, hello, Internet. I need my tablet. Dang it. It is 4:36 p.m. on Friday, August 14th, 2020. I'm Mark Amsray, DJ Amstrack, and I'm holding court. That's Daniel. He's at work, about to take lunch at 4:30 p.m.
Truth be told, I'm probably going to take lunch at 5, and that be the end of my day.
Fair enough.
And by 5, I probably mean 5:30 because everything's excellent.
Today I'm going to be continuing Yono and the Celestial Elephants. Began it yesterday. It's cute. It has skeleton Diogenes, which is fantastic.
Yes! That's good, you're blocking my side.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm gonna go grab my tablet and then let's get this started.
I think the best way to describe Diogenes' deal was pushing the limits of asceticism.
I got events. Do.
I called he'd often expose himself to inclement weather to basically toughen himself up against it.
Excuse me. Alright, tablet starting up. Controller on. Headphones. Excuse me. I've had something in my throat and chest since last night.
I don't like that.
Yeah, me neither.
Maybe it's a frog. You should like cough it up in the backyard so it'll leave the airways. Build a frog, go.
Yeah, thankfully, we haven't seen any of those in a while.
Oh, good. Maybe we had an invasion of toads that we didn't notice.
Maybe.
Go toads! G.I. Toad.
T.I. Toad?
Texas Instruments Toad?
Sure.
Adorable! I want one. I was thinking like government issued Toad. And here's your live Toad. Compliments Uncle Sam. What? Wait. What? Wait. Alright. You have feet in my hand. I'm gonna put you in the garden. Why is the government issuing amphibians? And why haven't they done it before? And how much much trouble do I get in with the mob if the government issues us a ceiling?
Wow.
Homophone joke!
Phew. Narrow margin for that one. W.
I just got your isekai to orc reply there. Code works because he believes it. Noggin Dasher Legends. You know, people would buy that.
Now wait a second. Oh! Oh, I see now. Oops. Right. Actually. Nope, I goofed. I see what I'm supposed to do now. anything over in this corner? Nope. This way to the Sunder Garden. Ingrid was here. Oh, wait a second. Was there a second exit up there? No, there wasn't. Okay. That area up there must just be decorative. Oh, no, it just brings me up there. Okay, that's what it is.
There are those who say that the universe is eternal and has always existed, but there are also those who argue that it has a beginning in time. Some believe that the cosmos was created by divine elephants millions of years ago. They say the Earth was fashioned from clay by these demiurge elephants, and stomped into a flat disk by their mighty feet. I don't know what to believe, but I like to think about these things. Imagining the infinite cosmos takes my proverbial breath away. Welcome to the Sunder Garden, where the dead rise from their graves. That might sound a bit scary, but in truth we're quite friendly. Most of us, anyway. The Sunder Garden is part of the human kingdom, and as such falls under the rule of the human monarch. We are not allowed to write our own laws, for instance, but there are some cases where the human law does not apply. Human inheritance law, for example, is particularly ridiculous for the Bone Whites, for 3 reasons. Firstly, and most importantly, we don't die. The whole thing is a moot point to start with. But besides that, secondly, we do not give birth to children, so there is no next of kin. We do have friends and lovers who you could argue would be candidates for inheritance, but thirdly, we don't have a culture of owning property in the first place, so there really isn't anything to inherit. Another effect of the human dominion is that we are not allowed to have a standing army and have to trust in the protection of the Queen's Guard. But we have no need of an army. The Sundergarden is our birthing ground and home, and we will never attempt to conquer or expand our territories. Why would we? To get access to trading routes and land to grow crops? These things hold no value. Death has given us a detachment from the physical world, and this is the source of a profound freedom. But you ask, what happens if the Sundergarden is invaded? Can you protect yourself from an external threat? But the sacred cemetery will not be invaded. It has no particular strategic or economic value, and even if you manage to destroy or drive away all bone whites, new ones will just keep crawling up from the ground. Good luck using these fields for agriculture when the dead keep rising in the middle of your plantations. Are bone whites immortal? We have existed as a people for 1,000 years, and during that time no one has died of high age or illness. Some have been destroyed in accidents or through acts of violence, and we do in fact grow older, just very slowly.
All this was once the field of a devastating battle. The bodies of the fallen make up the ground on which we now stand, and from which we bone whites emerge. Serenity born from calamity.
There are those who oh, okay, that's the same.
It doesn't seem like one particular fallen warrior corresponds to one individual bone white. Their remains fertilize the soil from which we grow. A great suffering lies buried here, and we all share the subconscious memories of the battlefield. We chose to live in peace, for we carry the horrors of war inside our bones. The bone whites know no fear, no hunger, no pain, no need. When these shackles are eliminated, so is conflict. Psst, over here. Let me get a feel of you. Oh, you must be the elephant I've been hearing about.
Hello? Are you stuck down there? Do you need me to help dig you out?
Nah, it's all right. I like it down here. It's cozy and quiet and surprisingly comfortable. I'm resting in peace, you know. I don't need to eat, I don't need anything from the surface, and people sometimes come by and talk to my hand, so I never get lonely.
I see. To each their own, I suppose.
Too right. There is, however, something you can help me out with, if you're up to it.
Okay, I'm listening.
I've been thinking of getting some sort of face or mask or something to hold in my hand. My bone white friends don't mind much, but humans who come visit the Sundergarden from Nightingale City often are a bit unnerved by talking to just my hand. I figure I can hold some sort of proxy head in my hand, so that the humans can have something they can feel they make eye contact with. You see what I mean?
I think so. Some sort of decoy head.
Yeah, just an orb with a face drawn on it would do, really. Why don't you see if you can find something colorful?
Decoy almonds. Those don't exist.
They do a pretty good job of selling the bone white existence.
Yeah.
I don't think I would mind being a bone white.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, it sounds pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, just in general, even though the gameplay is kind of simple, the lore and the philosophy that goes into it are fantastic.
That's what I was telling Gary, that to just look at, it
Mm-hmm.
looks like, a kid's game.
Yeah.
It's sweet and
Hey, Steve.
but that there's a lot going on under the surface there.
Mm-hmm.
That kids would miss entirely, but if you happen to be well read, and you're going to catch a lot of stuff there, like the Diogenes, Socrates.
Mm-hmm. Elephant Yono, nice to meet you again. I finally worked up the courage to go and talk to the Undertaker in Windhill, and he was super nice. He suggested I visit the Sunder Garden and meet more Bone Whites. They're not scary at all, and they are very friendly, you know. Just look at all these pretty flowers. The immortal Bone Whites tends to them for all eternity. This is my favorite place in the whole world. I can't believe I was ever afraid of the undead. Hello again. I was just thinking about the endless void of existence. Have you managed to find a proper face for me? I'll see what I can find. Okay, the pumpkin is definitely going to be a part of it, but I'm missing some little bit. Svart the Scalpel, right? I have found this pumpkin. Do you think you could carve a nice smiling face into it? I'm glad you asked. It will be my pleasure. Thank you.
I just chuck it on the ground.
I threw it on the ground. I got this carved pumpkin for you. Svart the Scalpel was kind enough to carve a smiling face into it. Oi, this is perfect. A nice friendly face for me to hold in my hand. The visitors will love this. Here, I want to give you this thing in return. I have no use for it, but I hear you can trade it with the Makani. Thank you very much.
It's a good piece.
Look at me. I have a face now. You look good. Don't I know it? Just tagging that location. A plague has descended upon the Sunder Garden. Instead of sprouting benign bone whites, the sick soil now produces soulless abominations. Surely the source of this mystery dwells within the very heart of darkness, buried in the depths of that ancient mass grave called Maggot's Keep. Feel free to tune in anytime you want an update or reminder on what's going on right now.
That place sounds disgusting.
I have traveled here from Freehaven to try and open up trade relations with the Bone Whites and maybe see if we can come together in an alliance to rival the human dominance. So far, not much luck. These deadbeats wouldn't lift a finger to flick a maggot out of their own eye socket. I'm not kidding about that. And why would they? They already live in a paradise garden. They couldn't care less about the situation in Freehaven. I'm beginning to think this mission is a bust. I need, like, some sort of voice modulator board thing. Because, like, I can do a good amount of that myself, but I could get a lot more variety if I could just, like, turn on robot, or turn on dead, or be female. You know? What? Yeah, like a lot of soundboards have things that you can, like, you know, switchboard, control board things, have effects that you can turn off or on. But, like, even just a filter, like a software filter, would be great. Black are my wings, dark is the night, endless my nightmare, dreamless my plight. Black is the world, pitch dark outside, void eats all, nowhere to hide. Well, that was cheerful. You just don't get me. Nidhug? This path leads through Acorn Woods all the way to Freehaven. It's closed off, as you see. Because of the Blight, we have elected to cut off all communication with surrounding cities, so that the problems we face can be contained and affect only us Bone Whites. Ow. The Sunder Garden is quarantined until further notice.
Thank you. No.
Did you like a carving job I did on your pumpkin? Yes, it was very good, thank you. Excellent. Throughout the Sunder Garden, I have counted 6 sunflowers that have failed to bloom, possibly as the result of the Blight. If you can find all of them and provide for them, the life-giving soil of the sacred cemetery is sure to return the favor. I had heard that the Sunder Garden was a place where the dead come back to life, so I traveled here to see if I could find a way to bring my lost lover back. Sadly, this is not how the garden works. Only Bone Whites are born here, and they all come from the corpses already buried in the earth. I'm sorry for your loss. You are an elephant. You should be able to give life back to my lover, shouldn't you? I don't think I'm able to do that. I could water your plants for you if that would help, but bringing the dead back to life, I don't even know how that would work. What kind of an elephant are you? Elephant Naga could bring life to the entire Sunder Garden, and 1,000 years later new Bone Whites keep popping up, and you can't even give life to one woman. I'm sorry. The Makani family of family? Where did I get that word? The Makani of Freehaven try to stagger along on trade with the mighty Nightingale City, but we don't. We produce nothing and consume nothing. Svart the Scalpel sometimes carves comical faces into the sides of pumpkins. I like this. Was that 5, I think? Let's see.
1, 2, 3, 4. 5. Okay, yeah, there is one more somewhere. Oh, there it is. Hey. Hey, and that's 4.
Yono, there you are! How do you like the Sunder Garden? I think it's fantastical, and it looks like we came here just in time, too.
She makes it sound like good news. It's not, I'm afraid.
Lady Erd, please tell Yono what you told us. Welcome to the Sunder Garden, Elephant Yono. This is the enchanted garden where we bone whites grow up from the earth. It was blessed 1,000 years ago by the last elephant before you, whose name was Naga. But lately, no new bone whites have appeared in our cemetery. Naga's blessing is running out, the ground has gone sour, and nothing healthy can grow anymore. We call it the Blight.
And it gets even worse. So the Sunder Garden no longer produces bone whites, but something else crawls out of the ancient graves instead. Something corrupted and dark. They are soulless creations, and they will blindly attack any living thing they come across. They are the tormented ghosts of that long-forgotten battle, but without the light of Naga, they are nothing but specters of violence. They are the Blightborn.
And nobody knows about this?
We know. We have watched in horror as our would-be brethren instead come up as mindless flesh-eaters. But this is our problem, and we have to deal with it. We have closed off all roads to and from the Sunder Garden to keep the threat contained. The humans and Makani must be kept safe. We destroy the Blightborn as they appear, but they will keep coming for as long as the earth is corrupted.
Hey, Mom?
Could you pour me some more drink, please? Realized I hadn't taken my pills yet today.
Well, me and Elephant Yono are here now. What can we do to help? It is hard to say, but the source of the blight must be in the very heart of the Sunder Garden. Beneath the ground on which we stand is a huge network of graves and catacombs. We call it Maggot's Keep, and in these old crypts the corpses of the fallen rest until it is time for them to rise again. We rarely venture there, as it is a place devoid of sunlight, even less so since the blight, for this is a darkness in which the Blightborn can thrive.
But the magic must be restored to the sacred cemetery. That is the only way to stop the blight and let new bone whites rise from their graves again.
Thank you.
Getting a twinge of a headache, too. It's not bad yet, but it's, like, sharp. You know? I'm getting the start of a headache.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's... The intensity isn't strong yet. Like, it's not bad, but it is, like, really focused.
Yeah. Try and stop it before it just spreads out through the entire brain pan.
Exactly.
I don't know if I can do that. I have no idea what exactly Naga did 1,000 years ago. I'm sorry. I believe in you, Yono. I think you can do anything if you try. But I have never blessed a garden before. I haven't enchanted anything. I don't even know what elephant magic is supposed to be. How hard can it be, right? You're an elephant after all, so it should probably come naturally anyway. I suppose. Will you enter Maggot's Keep, search the catacombs until you find the Heart of Darkness, and heal its wounds so that the magic of the sacred cemetery can be restored? The Sunder Garden is sick, and the Blightborn are but her symptoms. I'll do my best.
Let's see if we go
Can you push that little boat around by, like, blowing at it or something?
I'm pretty sure I can. I'm just trying to figure out where would yield like the best. Oh, I can just... It doesn't work quite like I thought it did. I'd expected it to be like one of those, you know, like pushing an ice block kind of puzzle, where it goes until it hits something, and then you can push it at like a 90-degree angle from that. So I was trying to line it up with those lily pads and see, yeah. I hear a crow somewhere. Can I grab this crow and give it to the goth chick? Because it sounds like she's writing poetry about crows. Which is, you know, probably the best way to write about crows. Nobody writes crows prose.
Oh yeah, did you hear about the pair of crows that were mating outside of someone's window and then got arrested?
What?
Turns out they were planning a murder.
Oh no. Oh hey, and there's different styles here. Elephantom of the Opera. Ha! I'm gonna have to wait for him to finish turning back around so I can see his face. Little half mask. That's adorable. Pinstripes. Oh, that's really cute too. I like that. Chessmaster. Zigzag. Oh yeah, this is the Tartanosaur. Okay, so there's some here that were at previous ones and some that weren't. I don't think I ever actually visited the one in Nightingale City.
Such a Pokemon man.
How do you like my new paint job? I went for Racer Red this time. I can't wait to show my friends at tomorrow's party.
Yeah. Aw, he looks so soft. And he's got the red patch on the ear there. Reticulate the splines. No, but I did conduliate the Fossinardi. Did him! Blue
Made of pants.
Pants Pachyderm. Pandora. Oh, it's a panda. Pink Princess. Oh, that's cute. Got the whole lacy embroidery, or a lacy trim. Blue Princess. Purple Princess. Hannibal. Ah, I love it. Ah! Yes! That one again. It kind of does, Steve. I was actually thinking the same thing when I said it. Pants Pachyderm could be a sidekick. And he could be Pants on Fire. Oh, I'm kind of surprised that the that I can't blow away all the cobwebs and stuff. Darkness ahead, abandon hope. You shouldn't come here. Light the 4 torches, of course. A classic puzzle solution. Yeah! Here's an ice block. Here's what I was expecting. Or what I was anticipating earlier.
Ice block puzzle, you'll cut by the... Pants Pachyderm does sound like a maverick. Goodness, I'm surprised you didn't go for the Zelda skin.
I mean, it was cute, but I really like this one.
It'd also be super appropriate to the gameplay you're experiencing right now.
That's true.
Puzzle solving in a dungeon?
Mm-hmm.
The Link outfit would be perfect.
How am I gonna get something on that to stay on that tile right there? Aha! Now I see. Hello there, fair. Oop. Yep, this thing's battery is dead. Time to replace. Is this on my sleeve? It's probably just a shred of cardboard.
Shreds of cardboard. They're everywhere.
Yep. About to find out. So far, so good.
Very good. I love his outfit.
Mm-hmm.
A cape like that. Or, you know, something. I would say a cat suit, but I'm too old and fat to wear a cat suit. I don't mean like a furry. I mean a cat suit.
That'd be a fursuit, not a cat suit.
Hello?
A completely covered onesie, you know, from wrist and neck to toes.
Traveler, you seek passage across the river. Yes, I'm on my way to the deepest chamber in these catacombs. I'm trying to find out where the Blightborn come from. I would ferry you across, but the passage is shrouded in darkness. If you can find my ship's lantern, I can use it to light the way. Oh, thank you.
Stop your drugs.
Drugs. Dergs.
Calls it a shit, but that is so justified. That's a little bitty boat.
If he wants to call it his ship.
Itty bitty baby, itty bitty boat.
And then you have to leave.
Habib it. Nothing.
Now they have the barber shop to get your cosmic outfit. Does that mean your regular color will grow back as it were, or do you
Probably
own
not.
this from now on?
I'm not certain, but I suspect that I own this. That is the way it frequently works in this sort of game. Oops.
Uh-oh. Be careful, Yono.
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 Thank you.
Yeah, because when an elf will go down and go boom, it's pretty good. Well, he's
Operation Dumbo Drop. Oops, wrong button.
It's non-stop.
Non-stop Dumbo Drop.
From the makers of Non-Stop Dog Plop. Your non-stop dog plop.
Oops! Well. Whoops. Boatman, I just threw your lantern into the river.
Perhaps it'll wash up somewhere. I know. Don't wear a toga in the Cuyahoga. We'll just have a fun little rag.
I found your lantern. All aboard.
Health token. Huh. Well, that makes this interesting. Oops. Needed to adjust the fan so it was pointing at me a bit more directly. Because it's late afternoon in August in Oklahoma. It's getting warm. The fact that I'm wearing headphones doesn't help matters either.
You should get some of those earbuds here and it keeps pushing.
Nah.
They've got a comfortable fit or they'll return your money maybe?
They'll return my money then. Because, like, earbuds are okay for a little while. Ah! There.
So everyone's ears are different, so perhaps you need a smaller size. Or perhaps a more oblong as opposed to round shape.
no. Yikes. Oh no! Oops. Ha. Yep. Oh, I see now. I see now. That. I did it. Yeah, the whole place is black and white now.
Life is beautiful. Uncorrupted bone whites can once again be born from below. Your two little friends went ahead into Acorn Woods and are waiting for you there.
You have restored life to the Sunder Garden and carried on Naga's legacy, but you are young still, Yono, and you may have a long way to go before you can take your place among the elephants of history and legend.
Life is suffering, and the cause of suffering is need. By removing the need, we remove the suffering. To live is to murder. Even disregarding the need to feed on other organisms, a living body constantly cannibalizes itself. The cells deteriorate, and the body grows old and dies. Simply by being alive, you drain the energy out of your own body, until there is nothing left but death, and the rest is silence. I hear a new Bone White has been born, and the blight is over. Let the path to Freehaven be open again. Well, Yono, you really did it! We witnessed the whole change up on the surface as well. Suddenly the bone whites all around us just seemed to glow with renewed life. Even Kai lost some of his slouch. I'm thinking Freehaven next, eh? City of Robots, how does that sound? It's just on the other side of Acorn Woods, so we should be able to trek over there in no time. You did well in Maggot's Keep, Yono. It's an honor to travel with you. Honestly, though, I'm not entirely sure what I did. I don't know if the revitalization of the Sunder Garden is going to last. Naga's blessing apparently only held out for 1,000 years, and unlike me, she probably knew what she was doing at the time. But 1,000 years is a really long time, Yono. Maybe not for an elephant like you, but for us living on this world, that is going to be several times the length of my life. The Makani people have never seen an elephant. Their entire history only goes back a few centuries, and that is already a long time from where I'm standing. Well, let's go visiting them then.
You may ought to change his outfit, because it really doesn't go with this.
Okay.
Oh, well, but if you're not going to be in that orange...
Well, I have to go back this way to change it, is the...
Oh, I see. But then you're going to be in that orange-based...
Yep.
Okay. That could work, but now I'm not sure that's the best one. When does it change?
I didn't select any of them.
You changed your mind?
Because there's other options.
You gotta go to different barbers.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's pretty. That statue.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
That would probably work. But, that would work.
Mm-hmm.
Here we are.
Oop, nope, don't want to do that. There's a gap there. I didn't notice the gap at first. I didn't mind the gap.
They won't have your size at the gap.
This way to Woolly Mountain.
Well, now, good grief, now we're in snow.
If gate is closed, seek out Captain Coopram in Freehaven. Aha! I thought that might happen.
Jumping in the leaf piles.
I'm blowing away the leaf piles.
Oh, are you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, don't do it with a wet sucker, Linus says. Is that dynamite
Looks like it.
that grows on a vine? Dynamite?
Dynamite peppers is what they look like to me.
And there's the little mushy ones.
Oh! Took a little too long.
That's what she said.
Lighting torches with dynamite. That's a fantastic idea. G. Hey, train station. You know, I've collected an awful lot of letters. I could probably, out of my head, sir. I can go back and tell some stories. Who's ready for story time? Gather round, children. Elephant Naga saw the conflicts brewing in the lands. She had been a great friend to the Emperor Bindusara II, and she had for many years lived near the court and served as a trusted advisor to the ruler. The famed justice and longevity of Bindusara can perhaps in large part be attributed to the influence of Elephant Naga. Naga traveled to the northern provinces to the Fox Keep in order to talk to Prince Pandava and ask him not to go to war with his brother. But Pandava would not listen to the elephant. He had cunningly prepared for this outcome for years, and in his scheming he had completely forgotten his childhood growing up with his twin. So Naga traveled south to the Iron Citadel and spoke to Prince Kaurava. She asked him to lay down his sword and make peace with his brother. But Kaurava's massive army was already clad in steel and marching towards the plains of Pali, where he would face down his own brother once and for all. The armies of the Anvil and the armies of the Fox stood ready to do battle. Elephant Naga began to run towards the plains of Pali, where the battle was to commence. She ran as fast as the wind and the thunder, but she was too late. The battle of the twin generals, the greatest battle in recorded history, had already started. Brother fought brother, kin fought kin, and the devastation was total. The bodies of the fallen piled up into barricades, which the remaining warriors would climb and keep fighting. The ground was no longer visible under a layer of corpses. General Kaurava and General Pandava met face to face in battle, the Duke of the Anvil against the Lord of Foxes. The two twins were so equal in strength and skill that when Kaurava thrust his lance, so did Pandava, and the generals pierced each other's armor in the same breath. They died together, just as they had been born together. When Elephant Naga arrived at the battlefield, not a single soldier was still standing. The devastation was total, and Naga wept over the massacre. The corpses of the fallen lay strewn across the fields like poppy seeds. Naga wandered the plains of Pali for many days, and she watched over the dead bodies as they sank down into the damp earth. She chased away crows and scavengers, and she tended to the dead. Her tears fell on the soil. It was not until many, many years later that the first corpse sprouted new life. Out of the mass grave grew the first bone white, brought back to life by Naga's blessing. The plains of Pali would continue to sprout the living dead, as it does to this day, and would henceforth be known as the Sacred Cemetery, the Sundergarden. "Come walk with me and gaze upon the stars," spoke Gaia with her tusks of ivory white. "The principles below this world of ours are clear as day, and as soon as comes the night." "Come walk with me and gaze upon the star—" Oh, okay. "In circular paths the spheres of heaven glide, the void of cosmos planets circumfuse. Mathematics is what inside it hide, proportion, ratio, and hypotenuse. And in that ratio lives a merry tune. We find it if we measure carefully. Between my ivory tusks a string is strewn, and plucked to vibrate in fine harmony." "Let's all dance when you take a string and thump it, and I'll invent a new device, the trumpet." Princess Vanya, daughter of the Emperor, sought out the Elephant Ronin one night, in the elder tree grove just outside the city, where he used to sit and gaze at the stars. When she saw him, she spoke thus: "Elephant Ronin, who sit in the elder tree grove, I am the seventh of the Emperor's daughters, and as such there are no noble princes left in any of the neighboring realms for me to marry when I come of age. All my sisters will have lives of luxury and plenty, all but me, who am the youngest. I have sought you out, Great Elephant, in hope that you can offer me advice." "My dear child, I am delighted to meet you. But why would you say a life of luxury and plenty is a life worth living? Would a life of toil and hardship be less desirable?" "All living creatures shun pain. This is evident. I seek the calm and serenity that comes from a life free of disturbance and suffering. Surely pleasure is the opposite of suffering, and should thus be aspired to, just as pain should be shunned." "But the pleasure will fade away as soon as it is over, as will the pain, as will all sensation. You can remember that you felt pain yesterday, but you cannot feel the same pain again. The same is true for pleasure." "I agree. This is why one should not chase after immediate pleasures, but rather live a life where pleasure is secured in the future as well. One might even forego immediate pleasures if one is certain doing so will save one from a future pain." "Maybe a good life is not so much about what you feel, but about what you do. The present is ever-changing, and so is the future. The past, on the other hand, cannot be altered. Thus, the pleasurable sensations you feel now, and might feel in the future, are fleeting and impermanent, but the story of your actions will remain forever true in the past. This is your legacy, your memory, your tale." "So I should focus on the actions I make, rather than the pleasures I seek and receive? But the seeking of pleasure will itself be an action." "But is the purpose of the search the pleasure or the seeking?" "Contrariwise, then, the possession of a good story is itself pleasurable. I can live a life of action and stories, but the happiness I get out of that life is the same kind of pleasure my sisters will receive in their decorated halls, their banquets, and their bedchambers." "Then maybe we are talking about the same thing after all. If the pleasure of action, the pleasure of creating memories and stories, can rival the pleasure of material luxury, then perhaps the circumstances of your physical body is not the only thing that can lead to your happiness. Are you saying that I can devote myself to actions, to study and research, to charity work, to art and architecture, to adventure and discovery, and that this can be as rewarding as a life of pleasure? Are you in fact saying that this is what would truly be a happy life? I don't know what a happy life is. This is why I sit here looking at the stars and waiting for people to come and talk to me and tell me their thoughts. You have given me much joy this evening, and much to think about, and I suppose sitting still can also be an action, if you do it on purpose. Here follows the myth of Uruk, such as it has been passed down through the generations. Son of Porcupine was the greatest hunter in the land, and his bow was feared by all animals. He led a group of hunters who would return each night with food for the tribe. But the land was empty and barren. All animals had fled or been killed. Son of Porcupine said to Yin the elephant, "I am the greatest hunter in the land, and these are my hunters. But the land is barren and empty of life. We can no longer hunt for food to feed our tribe. We need a new source of food." And Elephant Yin said to Son of Porcupine, "You have started on a path at the end of which you will die. Nonetheless, I shall aid you in whichever way I can, for through your death, your people will become stronger and more numerous than ever before. Take these seeds and bury them in the earth. Then wait for 3 days, and return to the same spot." And Son of Porcupine took the seeds and buried them deep. He and the other hunters waited for 3 days, and on the morning of the 3rd day, they found that the whole valley had turned into a resplendent field of grain. There was more food in one place than they had ever seen before. Son of Porcupine and his tribe began to harvest the grain, and more tribes arrived from near and far to help with the harvest and share the food. They stopped traveling around in search of food, and instead built their huts in the valley along the river, and on the 7th day Son of Porcupine became a king. But on the 12th day other people arrived in the valley, and they did not come for the food. They sought the source of the food, which they perceived to be the power of the king Son of Porcupine. The invaders were envious of this power, and wanted to seize it. Son of Porcupine said to Yin the elephant, "I am the king of this valley, and these are my people. But other people desire my power, and in envy seek to destroy what I have created. We can no longer travel to avoid fights, because our homes and lives are dependent on these fields of grain." And Elephant Yin replied, "I warned you that suffering would come to you, Son of Porcupine, but on the other side of suffering lies strength. Take these rocks and place them in a circle around the valley, then wait for 3 days." And Son of Porcupine placed the rocks in a circle around the valley, and waited for 3 days. On the morning of the 3rd day, the valley and all the huts and houses had been surrounded by a sturdy stone wall, and it had become a city. The city was called Uruk, and on the 15th day, the hunters became warriors. The invaders lined up outside the walls of Uruk, ready to do battle. Son of Porcupine stood atop the city wall with his fearsome bow, forced to protect a livelihood that could not be moved, a livelihood that had transformed from sustenance into wealth, and thus attracted envy. A spear thrown by an envious invader sailed through the air. It was a spear of hatred and greed, seeking the wealth hidden inside the city walls. And the spear of hatred found its way into the heart of Son of Porcupine, who fell from his position on the wall. The blood of his veins flowed forth, and surrounded the city like a water-filled moat, and the invaders were held off. The people of the city of Uruk lived lives of richness and resplendence. And I don't have enough to finish that last story, or to get the entirety of that last story, so I will hold off on starting it. What?
This is a tale about the community mention of agriculture.
Yeah.
And if you recall, there was 1,000 black white cards. No, not black white cards. And Cards Against Humanity tomfoolery where...
Yeah, when I become president, I will create the Department of...
And they
blank.
have a card that's simply agriculture.
that already exists.
It does, which makes the result rather amusing. And this, I think, earned him the point.
Yep.
Department away.
Yeah. Oops. That didn't work. Yay. He blew up. I blowed him up. Hey, and I now have 4 health tokens. When I reach Free Haven... Oops! That's not what I wanted to do. I missed! I'm amazed that didn't blow it off in the wrong direction. There's probably some safeguard in there to prevent that, because otherwise that would be a really fiddly puzzle. And, like, really precise physics puzzles are not fun. If you're going to have a physics puzzle, you need some flexibility in them, or else they just get frustrating. So I'm glad that, or at least I'm glad. I presume that what they did was put a safeguard in there, and I am glad for that. There we go. No, that's not what I want to do. Oops. There. Hey, Plumbum. Got it. I was like, Plumbum? That's a weird name.
But
Oh, yeah. It's just that, yeah, I was briefly like, that's a weird name for a robot. Oh, right, that's lead.
he's got plums for a butt.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, that's not a very robotic sounding epithet. Plums for a butt. Hey, I'm trying to shoot down the balloons with my slingshot, but it's really, really difficult, I'm telling you. Why don't you load up your trunk with some peanuts from my bag and see if you can aim better? Peanuts to you. Oops. Yeet. You managed to pop all the balloons! Hooray! Now I'm bored. You should have thought of that sooner. Freehaven, semi-sovereign city-state of the Makani. Ingrid was here. Who is Ingrid? Oop, wrong button.
Hey,
Welcome to Freehaven. Okay. Good day, Mr. Elephant. Welcome to Freehaven, Elephant Yono, sir. This is the city we Makani built for ourselves. Aluminium. It has very good access to the sea, which is great because we need to trade with the humans for natural resources such as metal ore. Good day, Mr. Elephant. Hello again, sir. I have returned from the Sunder Garden after having failed to gain the Bone Might's support in the matter of Freehaven's predicament. Metal or what? Oh. Oh! Mom. Mom, please. Mom. What exactly is it you want the Bone-Wide support for? Yeah, you do get them. It's just fun to act all exasperated over puns. Oh, don't get me started, sir. We call the city Freehaven because that's what we wanted it to be. A haven where the Makani would be free.
286 years later, and that is still not true. We still live under the subjugation of Nightingale City, which has devastating consequences for our way of life. It was the humans who first began to build machines, you know. Those proto-mechani were quite primitive. We have long since surpassed the humans in technological development. But the fact remains that from the very beginning, the humans have viewed us as elaborate tools to do their work for them. That's what we used to be, and the path to freedom for the Mechani has been long and arduous. It is still ongoing, as a matter of fact. Surely you have noticed that Freehaven is packed full of the Queen's guards, sir. After much political discord and protests, the Mechani finally managed to convince the humans to let us found our own city-state. Well, we wanted a city-state, but they really only gave us a city. To this day, Freehaven is not an independent city-state. And the land they granted us was the poorest in the kingdom. These barren cliffs cannot be used for farming, which is why the humans were prepared to give it up. But neither is it rich in natural resources, so mining for coal and metal is also difficult, and that spells trouble for us robots. The only thing Freehaven has access to is access to the sea, and we use that to trade with the humans. They sell us resources, metals, coal, and other minerals, and we sell them manufactured goods from our factories. But here's the problem. The trade terms are dictated by the humans, and the Queen forces us to pay high tariffs and taxes every time we dock in Nightingale City. It's not for nothing they call Freehaven a city of smugglers, and not for nothing the place is swarming with guards. The Mechani are on the brink of something big. We are ready to completely industrialize our production, which will radically change how everyone sees food and resources forever. We have the know-how, but we are starved for resources. Because of the unfair trade with Nightingale City, we simply do not have access to enough coal and steel to kickstart our industrial reformation. And we are willing to share, too. The humans would not have to work the land for nourishment anymore. They could have all the food they wanted, with minimal effort, if they would just trust us. This is why I want to open up communication with the Bone Whites. The Sunder Garden, too, is locked inside the Humans' Kingdom Empire. The undeads are being mistreated by the humans, just as the robots. But the Bone Whites are not interested in politics. Their conception of freedom seems to be some sort of non-dependence on the material world. It's hard to wrap one's head around.
I like this guy. I don't even know what he does, but I already like him.
He has a pong face.
Pong face. He's got a big fong. A big fong?
Face.
A big fong pace. He's got the body of an NES controller and the face of Pong.
Face of an oscilloscope? And he flies through. Wait, no, he doesn't fly through the air. Alright, he must play on his face. He's not trying very hard.
Congratulations! Your reward is 50 coins. I look forward to a rematch. Cute. Let's see if he tries harder this time.
Yes.
Oops. That was just me misjudging. Trying to put spin on it and wound up just missing it.
His house is sideways.
Mm-hmm. Hello again, Yono. Did you hear? I got an apprenticeship in the Makani Railroad engineering crew. I'm going to get to learn how to maintain and expand the railway system and become an engineer when I grow up. It's so exciting. Ah, welcome, sir. Ever wondered where all the health tokens you've been finding come from? We make them right here in Freehaven. I'm what you'd perhaps call a blacksmith, and I make new ones all the time to meet the overwhelming demand. Well, not at the moment, of course, since my anvil is missing, but I would if I could. Yes, sir, I would. He needs tungsten to live. Or I need tungsten to live, perhaps.
There were a bunch of letters in that file. Weird. Breathing is good, except in California, where breathing causes cancer. Doesn't everything cause California and cancer? Or cause cancer in California? Or cancer causes California there.
Hello. You don't quite look like the other Makani I have met.
Hello, I am a proto-Makani, built by human hands hundreds of years ago. I lived through the singularity, and now I'm happy in Freehaven.
Fascinating. You must have seen a lot of the world. How do you like Freehaven?
Hello, I am a proto-Makani, built by human hands hundreds of years ago. I lived through the singularity, and now I'm happy in Freehaven.
You can't really talk, can you?
Hello, I am a proto-Makani, built by human hands hundreds of years ago. I lived through the singularity, and now I'm happy in Freehaven.
Very good. Well, I'll see you around.
The Makani have accomplished so much in an astonishingly short time. All this work around the clock, tick-tock, tick-tock, all this progress. But progress is not aimed towards anything, just away from the past. It has no direction. The humans and Makani alike live quick, short lives, always skipping to the next step with no direction except away. What will happen when people like this acquire the technological capability to destroy the world? A drawn-out war of attrition against ever-dwindling natural resources, or one of all-consuming fire engulfing us all? Or perhaps an industrial age of wonder where everyone can be safe and happy? Who can tell? Progress without aim or direction. Who can say where it will lead?
Here and there and there and there.
Existence precedes essence. That's what some wise humans claim. By essence, they mean something like the blueprint of a creation, the idea and design behind that thing. You could call it the category something belongs to. So if existence precedes essence, that means something has to exist before it can be put into a category. There is no purpose for which the thing was created. Rather, the purpose has to be found, or invented, after the creation has taken place. And it might be true that there is no purpose to humans, that they are born into radical freedom and have to shape their own essence. But what about us Makani? Many of us robots are clearly built with a purpose in mind. I, for instance, am an excavator machine, built for digging, so in many cases our essence existed before we did. When we are constructing new Makani today, we tend to avoid giving them a design that is clearly meant to fulfill a specific role. We like to build general, all-purpose Makani, instead of cleaning bots and transportation devices.
That way, they are not built for any one particular task and are free to do whatever they want, which seems like a good thing. But maybe that is not the ethical thing to do after all. Is it liberating to lack a specified purpose? Or paralyzing? We build all-purpose Makani to give them freedom of choice, but are we in fact only granting them the gift of existential dread?
Is it liberating or paralyzing? Yes.
Robo-Sarge. Sartre.
So much freedom
Oops.
you won't be able to move. Hello, chicken balloon. Why is there a
Chicken balloon, what's the matter with you? You don't act like the other chickens do.
Oh, there's that anvil.
Yep. Got it.
That's a...
Elephant Yono, sir. It's great to meet you again. I was just talking to your friends here. Have you talked to many other Makani yet? Did you know there's actually an election going on as we speak? An election? Absolutely, sir. That is how we make decisions on political issues here in Freehaven. We vote on every single question, and every single Makani has one vote to start with. On top of that, your vote can have higher priority if you are an expert in some area, and count for less if the question concerns something you are not familiar with or do not care particularly about. It's a massively complex system, but when it comes down to it, it's really just a matter of calculating and managing a large amount of data. The Hegemonicon is a huge calculating machine who works tirelessly day and night to sort out the opinions of every Makani in Freehaven. But the Hegemonicon is a Makani as well? What if it tampers with the results in favor of its own interests? Yes, indeed, ma'am. There we have hit on the core of the issue. The Hegemonicon is supposed to be incorruptible, sir, and perfectly honest. And personally, I still believe it is. Paying political favors is not part of its internal design, and we machines are not as easily blinded by our own desires as the humans. No offense, ma'am. But right now, the Makani stand on the threshold of our biggest decision in history, and the decision has to be made in complete secrecy. We are deciding on revolting against Nightingale City and fight for the freedom of Freehaven. Oh my, that sounds serious. Shh, keep it down or the Queen's Guards will hear. And it's a complicated issue, too, because we are not well prepared for a war. Humans outnumber us many times over and have all the advantage. It is very doubtful that we could even survive an armed conflict, and yet there are those who say it is our only choice. There are? Yes. Aurum is their foremost champion, and it has a few followers, but it seems most Makani are still hesitant to go to war, and the Hegemonicon will probably give the verdict that there will be no violent revolution. Liberation from human subjugation must come through non-violent means. But we just saw Aurum entering the Manufactoria factory, didn't we? Indeed, and that's what worries me. Deep down in the Manufactoria is where the Hegemonicon resides. Has Aurum gone down there to meet with the Hegemonicon? Has Aurum realized that most Makani do not want a war, and decided to try and persuade the incorruptible Hegemonicon to present a result that differs from the actual elections? Can the Hegemonicon stand fast against such an illegal coup? You gotta go down there and stop this, Yono!
This game is really very complicated.
Mm-hmm.
Very deep. It belies its very cutesy appearance.
Ah, sir, I see you have found my anvil. Splendid! Now I can go back to manufacturing health tokens according to my schedule. You know what, sir? I'll give you one free health token on the house as thanks for helping me out. You can go and trade it in at the health token exchange just next door.
You again? Is my son up to no good in Nightingale City while I'm here doing business with the stingy robots?
I think everybody ought to play this game. And perhaps their minds will be opened a little bit while they do.
This is your underground Makani report network. The Makani in Freehaven are preparing for a secret vote. The issue? A war for liberation against the humans. The Hegemonicon deep down in Manufactoria is counting votes as we speak. Keep this message away from the Queen's Guards at all costs. Feel free to tune in anytime you want an update or reminder on what's going on right now.
Nope, that's not the right place. I didn't actually notice the decorations there before. That makes it easier to tell which place is which. Okay, so now that that guy is in Freehaven, I can go and help Julie, if I can remember where she is. Not there. That's Miss Monkeypaw. Here we are.
Oh? Are these from Julie? I can't believe it. She has noticed me after all. My dad won't let me outside much, so I've spent a lot of time writing poems for my unattainable Juliet. Will you deliver them to her for me as a response for the roses? There are quite a lot of them. Oh, he responded! I can't believe it! My love is not unrequited after all. I always knew, you know, in the bottom of my heart, as they say. I'm going to read all of these poems, and then I'm going to write a long love letter in reply. How about maybe meeting him in person? Oh no, there's going to be a long time before I work up the courage to do that.
Lots of letters. That means more story time. Ugh. My hands are all sweaty. Because my all of me is quite warm.
I see you have some lost letters for me. Let's see if we can piece something together.
My name is Babur Zeb of Zerno, and I have devoted my life to the study of elephant lore. A few generations before my birth was the era of Elephant Gaia, and we are now patiently waiting for the next elephant, whoever it may be. In the earliest of human history, mankind lived as hunter-gatherers, moving around across large areas of wilderness, and subsisting on whatever food they managed to hunt down or pluck from trees and bushes. We call this period the Stone Age because this was before mankind had started using metal tools and crafted their utensils out of stone. It would not be until much later in the era of Elephant Yin that humans began living in cities, cultivating land, and using metal tools.
This is the time of Elephant Agra, the All-Mother, the very first elephant we know of. She came to aid mankind and live among them as a guide and mentor. We have absolutely no written record from this age. Indeed, it seems humans had not developed the art of writing at this point. Instead, we must rely exclusively on the oral tradition and what few archaeological artifacts we have managed to find, such as cave paintings and small trinkets carved in stone. Thus, we know very little of the life and deeds of Elephant Agra. She seems to have been recognized as some form of deity or supernatural spirit, and she seems to have covered an astounding distance by foot as she traveled across the world, often followed by various tribes and communities of early humans. Evidence suggests that it was Agra the All-Mother who first taught mankind how to create and use fire. Her pilgrim caravan across the continents may, in large part, have been to spread this archaic technology to far-flung tribes and communities. As we can see, the relationship between human and elephant goes back for a long, long time. One would even be tempted to suggest that without elephants taking an interest in our development and flourishing, it is unlikely that we would have ever been able to rise to the level of cultural and civilizational sophistication that we see today. We may have been forever destined to roam the earth in packs, eating berries, roots, and nuts, and freeze in the cold winters. Both for the gift of fire and for the beginning of a long chain of future elephants, we have a lot to be thankful to the All-Mother for. It must be noted, however, that there may have been several elephants before Agra. There may have been elephants in this world before humankind even existed. It's impossible for us to know. And that appears to be the end of the stories. Unless... Ah, interesting. Can bigorize it. What can I do for you today, sir? Tin Man. Oh, that's cute! Aw, that's cute too.
In Robotown, do as the Robo do.
That one again. Elef. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, that's cute. I think I've seen some stuffed animals that looked like that. Made out of some sort of floral print fabric like that. Oh, I like that too. I bet Mom will really like that one. She's a fan of the whole blue china.
One of the few that doesn't give him a stitched up fabric look.
Mm-hmm. Spots. Yellow. Okay, yeah, let's in the china shop. I like it. Taking a bath. Or doing the dishes, maybe. Good day, Mr. Elephant.
Like peanuts.
Yeah! It's not what I was trying to do at all.
You didn't mean to yeet yourself into the culvert there?
I sure didn't. Peanuts to you.
Like how they occasionally have had to use ship's wheels as gears.
Got it. Oops. I missed.
fact. You can't just chuck an anvil around like that. They're surprisingly brittle.
Uh-huh.
This goes right here.
Oh, it is very nearly 7. I'm not sure if anybody's planning on going on Radio PSI for tonight, but if they are, they're probably going to want to do it soon. And I've been playing this for a while now anyway, so I should probably take a break. So, thanks for watching, folks. I'll be back tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern, where we'll be playing 2 Point Hospital. I'll be back with more of this on Monday, aiming for 3 p.m. Eastern, but sometime in the afternoon. Yeah, back with more of this on Monday and every weekday afternoon. So, thanks again, and I do hope to see you next time. And, of course, the game's going to crash when I exit, which means I'm going to have to wait for the thing that lets me, for Windows to let me close it. Okay, and now I'm out, and I can actually see XSplit. There we go. Later, everybody.